Name?
Devina Seth.
थोड़ा जोर से बोलो.
Devina Seth.
What is the major problem in relation to water supply across the globe?
Problems include contamination of water due to oil spills, then especially in places like Japan, where there is excess mercury in oil, which causes diseases like Minamata. Then contamination is one. Then there is drought in a lot of parts of the world, especially in India, especially in countries like India along the west coast, like Gujarat, which had a major drought a while back. But and people are still recovering from that. The glaciers are melting. The glaciers are melting, due to which someday our rivers will have no water left. People are talking about the North Cap melting. However, it's a controversial truth because it may not be happening. But yes, the polar caps are melting according to scientists. And water supply, what else? Yeah, and because of contamination of water due to industrial waste, etc., the rainwater that the plants are getting is also contaminated, due to which various diseases are spreading. So,
how are you contributing towards solving this problem?
I'm not contributing much, other than the fact that I'll try not to waste water because I know it's important. So I make sure that taps are not flowing all the time, and I remember to close the taps, etc., because people are suffering from water shortage. But in countries like United Kingdom, in Europe, etc., it's difficult to understand that the world is facing a water problem crisis. But in countries like Africa, etc., you can understand that people are facing a water crisis. So I'm trying my best to control my use of water. I'm not overdoing it.
What are major health problems associated with water?
I think drinking water, if it's contaminated, various diseases you have things like diarrhea or typhoid, etc., which happens due to water contamination. And then there are diseases like cholera. Then more genetic diseases like Minamata, which deteriorate your bones and all, and calcium in your body. And these are the.
Do you think these waterborne diseases are on a downward curve in developing countries?
No, I don't think so. As in, they don't occur very much in developing countries, agreed, but there's no downward curve because, when there is no rise, there's hardly any rise in water contamination in developing countries. Oh, in developing countries, I'm so sorry, I misunderstood the question. In developing countries, yes, it is. I can say that it could be on a downward curve in more urban areas, but in countries like India, where most of the population is rural, no, I disagree that it's on a downward curve.
Okay, have you heard of ultraviolet technologies in water purification?
Yeah, UV technologies, yes, I have.
How effective do you think this is?
I don't know the functioning of it, so I won't be able to comment.
What would your recommendations be in order to solve the problems related to water?
The problem is that everybody cannot have water purifier at home to purify the water that they drink. And because of contamination of water, which is not just happening in water bodies but also in underground water, which is also contaminating well water, which the rural population depends on, I can only say that industrial waste should be thoroughly checked so that they do not have any poisonous content that can damage water. Oil spills should be controlled as much as possible. And people should save water, not waste it. And I would think of the scientists coming up with a major technology which could purify water from the source and then distribute it to houses within taps, etc., which would involve a high cost of labor and whatever machinery to purify water at source. But I think that could help people a lot if developing countries can bring about this change.
Is there anything you would like to add to
No.
the water crisis? Or not?
I wouldn't want to add anything other than the fact that people shouldn't waste water and realize its value, because it is a gift for life.
Thank you very much, Devina. I'm glad that you gave me an interview.